Who are the most interesting San Francisco Giants to follow in 2024? I've got my list of five. Drop your thoughts and additions in the comments section below. Welcome into another edition of the Kerry Crowley Show. Our 2024 Giants preview rolls on with a look at some of the most interesting players who have the opportunity to produce some of those compelling and entertaining storylines of this calendar year. So let's get right into it. At number one, the young 22-year-old left-hander out of De La Salle High School, Kyle Harrison. He made his major league debut for the Giants this season in 2023. 7 starts, a 4.15 ERA. The fastball, Harrison's best pitch. It averaged just a tick under 94 miles an hour, but there's no doubt in my mind that as he progresses through his major league career, as he gets stronger and trains during the offseason, we could see that average ramp up to 95, 96. We've seen him touch 98 miles an hour on the radar gun in the minors before, and we saw him strike out 11 in his Oracle Park debut against the Cincinnati Reds in 2023. I was about to say earlier this year, of course, the calendar has now turned, but nevertheless, let's talk about Harrison and how he projects moving forward for the San Francisco Giants. I think that if the Giants are going to see positive developments from their prospects, from their young kids, it probably starts with their young pitchers, and Harrison has the most potential of any of them. You talk about Keaton Wynn, Mason Black, Tristan Beck. Harrison was the 2020 third-round pick of the Giants. They built their draft around this guy by giving him more bonus money to ensure that he would forego his commitment to UCLA. And ever since then, he's essentially been a top 100 prospect in most prospect rankings. And so what Harrison brings to the table is that elite fastball that struck out hitters just on a absurd basis in the minor leagues. He was often striking out nearly 2 batters per inning and dealt with a few walk issues. But overall, I think that the command and the control will get better as he works with major league pitching coaches. Bob Melvin, of course, the new manager, Brian Price, the new pitching coach in San Francisco. Everything they'll be focused on this year with Kyle Harrison is getting the most out of him, because this is someone who really didn't have a whole lot of minor league innings under his belt. And I think that maybe you look at one of the flaws in the Giants player development, they didn't build this guy up to throw 150, 175 innings this season. He's someone who has really had his innings restricted in the minor leagues. And so it's fair to wonder how much he can offer the Giants this year. But I do think that this is the season when Harrison takes off, when he solidifies himself as a future building block in this Giants rotation, as someone who could potentially pair with Logan Webb and form a great 1-2 punch. If there's one pitcher in this Giants organization to really get excited about this year, I think it's Kyle Harrison, because that fastball was great throughout his minor league career. The curveball was hit hard in the major leagues. Opponents had a slugging percentage of .606 against that pitch. I think it's technically called a slurve by StatCast, but nevertheless, the breaking ball for Harrison is what he's got to harness. And then he wants to develop into a true ace at the major league level. It's got to be fastball, breaking ball, and he's got to throw the changeup effectively. If he can become a true 3-pitch guy at the major league level this year, the future is incredibly bright for Harrison, and it has the potential to transform the Giants' rotation moving forward. At number 2 on this list of the most interesting Giants players to follow, Marco Luciano, the 22-year-old shortstop who has a clear path to being the opening day shortstop for the San Francisco Giants. And I've talked about Luciano plenty on the Kerry Crowley Show this offseason. And on one of my recent videos, I actually got a comment, "Why are you such a Luciano hater?" And this was a prediction that he wouldn't be the Giants' opening day shortstop, that by the end of the season, he would solidify himself as the everyday guy. I don't think it's hating to say that, counting on someone with just 39 major league at-bats under his belt and very limited AAA experience, that he might not be the opening day answer for the San Francisco Giants. But I think that one of the best things that could happen for the Giants this year is Luciano proving himself at the major league level. This is someone who signed back as a teenager in 2016, got major bonus money for the Giants, and ever since then, he's essentially been a top 100 prospect, much like Kyle Harrison. He's just been in the farm system much longer. Luciano, I think the questions right now are, can his defense stick at shortstop? Is he good enough to at least be average at that position moving forward? We saw good flashes in his limited time at the major league level last year, but that's always been a question. Will he be a shortstop, or will he end up playing another position long-term at the major league level? The other question, can he make more contact and cut down on the strikeouts? I think that eventually, maybe when he's 23, 24, 25, we'll see Luciano tap into the power that scouts have been talking about for years. This is someone who might hit 30, even 40 home runs consistently at the major league level. I think this year the Giants are hoping to see a player who can just reliably make contact and be a positive addition to their team. The world is waiting on Marco Luciano. Giants fans have been so excited about this guy's arrival for years now, and the fact that he made his major league debut in 2022 is a great sign. And so I think that his development and how he handles the shortstop position will easily be one of the most interesting storylines to follow in 2024. I can't wait to see what he does with the opportunity. At number 3 on this list of the 5 most interesting Giants players to follow, we've got Patrick Bailey, who, of course, made a really significant contribution as a rookie catcher in 2023. He took over a job that the Giants had wanted to hand to Joey Bart for the last several years, but Bart just didn't seize the opportunity. Patrick Bailey comes up in May of 2023, makes a huge difference for this team. His defense behind the plate was stellar. I think it's fair to say he's already one of the best defensive catchers in baseball, maybe the best defensive catcher in baseball when he gets the opportunity in a 162 game season. Saw someone yesterday in the comments section of a video say they're predicting a platinum glove for Patrick Bailey. I don't think that's out of the question at all. He handles a major league pitching staff so well. He looks like a 5-6 year veteran behind the plate, the way he works, the way he frames. He is a net positive every time he gets behind the plate, calls a game, controls a game for a pitching staff. You have to love what he brings to the plate when he's behind the plate. The question for Patrick Bailey in 2024, can he take a step forward offensively? The numbers were dramatically worse during the second half of last season at the plate than they were when he first came up. And look, he's a switch hitter, so adjusting to pitchers as a left-handed batter and a right-handed batter, really difficult. I think the OPS as a lefty was under 600 last season as a rookie, and you can cut him some slack. The guy started out at High A Eugene before making his major league debut during the first half of the season. He is going to make adjustments this offseason. He's going to continue to progress. I just want to see if he can be a league average hitter who can provide the Giants some power behind the plate. I think they'd love to see that because we all know the defense is tremendous, and we all know what a generational catcher can mean to an organization. I don't want to start with Buster Posey comparisons just yet, but you can feel the impact that Patrick Bailey has when he's working behind the plate and when he's contributing with the bat. He is a major contributor when that is the case for the San Francisco Giants. So that's something to look forward to in 2024. Can he continue to develop? At number 4 on this list of the most interesting Giants players to follow, at least for me this season. Again, drop your thoughts in the comments below. It's Jung Hoo-Lee. If you've watched my videos throughout the offseason, you know that I'm probably higher on Jung Hoo-Lee's potential to translate his elite contact skills from the KBO to Major League Baseball than maybe the majority of evaluators out there. But from what I've seen, this is someone who was viewed as just a tremendous player in Korea. And yeah, it could take a year or two for those skills to really pan out in Major League Baseball, but I'm thrilled that he's going to have the opportunity with the San Francisco Giants. And I'm excited that they finally invested 9 figures in a position player in free agency. He's got the richest free agent contract the Giants have ever handed out to a position player. Now it's on Jung Hoo-Lee to prove that he was worth it. I think that the Giants are going to start the season giving him every opportunity in center field and at the top of the order as a leadoff guy. He's got great contact skills. He walked more than he struck out in Korea during his pro career there. And now I wonder, how will he adjust to velocity? Will he still have that same disciplined eye? Will those skills translate with the eye to Major League Baseball against higher caliber of pitching? I think that that will go a long way toward determining his success at the Major League level. He's able to lay off those borderline pitches, swing at the pitches, and make contact in the strike zone. The Giants just didn't make enough contact last season. We saw the strikeout numbers pile up. It's one of my main issues with the way that they built their team under Farhan Zaidi is there's way too much boom or bust, and so much of that is bust. They just didn't hit home runs in 2023. They struck out a ton. The offense was lifeless. It was boring. It was tough to watch. And I think that Jung Hoo-Lee is the opposite of that. Yes, there will be ground ball outs. Yes, there will be times when he struggles in 2023, but there's no doubt in my mind that the contact skills that the Giants are betting on, those are a good thing for this team to start valuing because the last 2 years were dreadful to watch the plate. I think that Jung Hoo-Lee offers something different, and I hope that he's able to tap into that potential in San Francisco. We will see. The other question with Jung Hoo-Lee, how does he fare as a defender in the vast outfields of the National League West? I think that the Giants for so long have struggled to find a really solid defensive solution in center field. I don't know much about Jung Hoo-Lee's defense and how that will translate to the United States, to Major League Baseball. But I'm fascinated to see because they're making a big bet, and you can't really slide him into a corner and feel like he's giving you the same type of value because you need your corner outfielders to be power hitters. Jung Hoo-Lee is not a power hitter, so you really need him to stick in center field for the long haul if he's going to provide the maximum value to you. Last on this list, I've gone with a lot of young and or unproven players to start the 5 most interesting players list for the San Francisco Giants in 2024. I'm ending this with Logan Webb, and I'm saying that for a reason because I mentioned on a recent video that he has only, he has not made an all-star team yet in San Francisco, despite finishing 11th in Cy Young Award voting in 2022, despite finishing second in Cy Young Award voting in 2023. I think that this is the year that he really cements himself as one of the 10 best starters in Major League Baseball, maybe one of the 5 best starters in Major League Baseball. I think the real question around Logan Webb is, can the Giants give this guy any help? He's someone who loves the organization. He's someone who Buster Posey said he wanted to be kind of the next building block for the organization. After Posey retired in 2021, he essentially said it's Webb's team moving forward. Webb has embraced that leadership role. Now it's on the ownership group. Now it's on the front office to give Webb some help. This is someone who wants to be here, who wants to recruit players to San Francisco. And this is someone who is a premier talent who, if the Giants hit for him last season, remember, he had some of the lowest run support in all of Major League Baseball. Their season could have looked a little different. A few of those Webb starts could have turned into wins, and they could have been in the mix for a wild card spot at the very end of the season instead of flailing during the second half of the season and, really frustrating every fan who watched this team. And a lot of that frustration stemmed from seeing Logan Webb twirl a gem and seeing the offense come up totally empty for him. So this year, it's not as much about Logan Webb being interesting as it's how can the Giants help Logan Webb and what can they do to support Logan Webb? Because this is a guy who the organization should do everything in its power to embrace, to celebrate, to put on a pedestal. And to do that, you're going to need to give him complementary players around him to surround Webb with the type of winners that he needs to help lead the Giants into the future. So that's my list. To recap, you've got Kyle Harrison, the promising young starter, Marco Luciano, the incredible young shortstop who's got great power potential. You've got Patrick Bailey, who came up and made a big difference at the beginning of last season. What can he do over the course of 162 games behind the plate for the San Francisco Giants? Jung Hoo-Lee, who, of course, gets the richest contract ever given to a position player by the San Francisco Giants, and Logan Webb, who's no doubt the foundation of this Giants team in 2024. That's my list of the 5 most interesting San Francisco Giants. Who is on yours? Drop those thoughts in the comment section below. Try to respond to as many as I can. Thanks again for watching this edition of the Kerry Crowley Show.